What's up guys, thanks for watching. I got the workbench cleared up, which means it's time for a new build. I got the drag racing bug again and wanted to build a no prep car. While searching online for a two-wheel drive buggy chassis, I found this team associated B5M that I couldn't pass up. It's a mid-motor car which will be a little different, but should be fun. It came with a Castle Creations Mamba X ESC and a Reedy 7-turn brushless motor. The system is censored, which is perfect for drag racing. Also included was a Savox 1251 MG metal geared servo. The only problem was most of the bodies made for drag builds have a short course wheelbase. So I went ahead and picked up the associated SC5M chassis and center tray as well. Everything else should just swap right over. This will give me the right wheelbase while keeping the width of the buggy. So let's get that swapped out. I'm starting with the rear by removing all of the screws from under the chassis. This should allow me to remove the transmission and rear suspension all at once. To remove the whole assembly, I unplugged the motor wires from the ESC as well as the sensor wire. I'll probably end up installing some longer motor wires to clean it up a little. Now I can go ahead and get the front off, which should be a little easier. Turns out I need to remove the center tray to get the front end out. I was going to end up removing it anyway to reuse the screws, so that's not a big deal. With the front end removed, I can now start installing everything on the new chassis. I'll start by screwing the new center tray to the front end, and then installing the chassis plate, reusing the same screws. After dealing with a few strip screws, I got the chassis plate installed. Next up would be installing the transmission and rear suspension. But as this is a used car, I'd like to go through the transmission before final assembly. After getting it separated and opened up, I was met with some plastic gears. I'm sure these work fine, but with the nature of drag racing and hard launches, I have a feeling these won't last long. I'll leave the transmission out for now and see if I can find some metal gears that'll handle the abuse better. For now, we can go ahead and reinstall the rear suspension. After getting everything lined up, I reinstalled the screws, making sure to use Loctite on the ones going into the aluminum. I also removed the wing mount since I won't be needing it anymore. Next up, I got the body mounts on, starting with the front. I had to trim it a little to fit the buggy shock tower, but after that, it fit nicely. It's held on using the same nuts that secure the shocks to the shock tower. The rear mount was a little more difficult. I had to drill some holes in the shock tower to pass 2 screws through. The mount then slides on and gets secured with 2 nuts. Finally, I drilled some new holes in the body posts to get them mounted as low as possible. I think I'm ready to install the wheels now. I went with the Proline Pomona wheels with J-Concepts Hotties tires up front. I really like this wheel and tire combo. It has that racing look, but it's still clean and simple. For the rear, I picked up some Proline 2.2 Titus beadlock wheels and 2.2 Prime truck tires. I went with this combo over the drag specific stuff Proline and J-Concepts are making for 2 reasons. The first one is I just really like the look of the beadlock wheel. It adds a bit of scale detail. The other reason is, in full-scale drag racing, sidewall flex is a key component to a car hooking up and going down the track. While the other tires I mentioned have a nice sidewall on the outside, the inner portion of the tire has a much smaller sidewall, so it won't flex and help out with traction. Now, everything I just talked about might not pertain to RC drag racing, and these tires might not flex either, but they'll still look good either way and should work great. While I've been rambling on, you saw me put together the other wheel. I made sure all the screws were tightened evenly and then installed the rear tires. It now sits as a rolling chassis. Once the new gears come in, I'll install them and get the electronics all wired up, and then all that'll be left is the body. Speaking of the body, I'm going to start out running the J-Concepts Nova body. I still need to mess with the suspension to get the car sitting lower, but this gives you a good idea of where we're headed. I'm still tinkering with a few paint ideas, so let me know in the comments how you'd like to see me paint it. Protoform recently announced that new Corvette C7 Pro Mod body, and I think I'll probably be getting one of those as well. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed and can't wait to see this car make some passes. Follow me on Instagram to see project updates as well as upcoming video teasers. Thanks again for watching. Peace.